Through numerous successful attacks, private property and free enterprise that the framers envisioned are mere skeletons of their past. Thomas Jefferson anticipated this when he said, and I quote him, "The natural progress of things is for government to gain ground and for liberty to yield." The best way of looking at this process of government gaining ground and liberty yielding is to look at what has happened to taxation and spending. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one way to look at taxes. Taxes represent government claims on private property. Indeed, if government were to tax private property at 100%, it would confiscate private property. And indeed, taxes are going up. An even better measure of what government does is to look at what has happened to spending. Let's go back to the turn of the last century, or let's say 1902. Expenditures at all levels of government, federal, state, and local levels of government, totaled $1.7 billion. The average taxpayer that year paid $60 in federal, state, and local taxes. In fact, from 1787 until 1920, federal expenditures were only 3% of the GDP, except during wartime. Today, federal expenditures alone are close to $4 trillion, or 30% of the GDP. State and local governments, they spend close to $3 trillion. The average taxpayer today is taxed $10,000 a year in federal, state, and local taxes. Now, what's the significance of all this? Well, the significance is that as time goes by, you and I own less and less of our most valuable resource, namely ourselves and the fruits of our labor. Another way of looking at this is that the average taxpayer works from January 1st until mid or late April, depending on the state that you live, to pay federal, state, and local taxes. That means we're going on 4 months out of the year, and we do not have the rights to decide how the fruits of our labor will be used. Somebody else makes that decision. Now, keep in mind that a working definition of slavery is that you work all year, and it is someone else that makes the decision how the fruits of your labor will be used.